Everybody loves Cinnabon, but who has time, especially as college students, to go to Cinnabon every time we want a cinnamon roll? Not many people. So I've come up with a solution to that, which is making your own at home. It's fun, it's a lot easier than having to drive to the mall, and it saves you a lot of money. First, you're going to start with your ingredients. I've got milk, that's right here. I've got melted butter, 2 eggs, I've got flour, and then I've got salt, sugar, and yeast. And then the actual supplies that you're going to need an oven set at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to need a knife to cut your cinnamon rolls with. You're going to need a rolling pin for the dough. And you're going to need a 12 by 18 pan to put the cinnamon rolls in to bake. And a bread machine. What you're going to do first is you're going to hook up your bread machine. You're going to turn it on. And then you're going to add your milk. And you add them in this order exactly. Because the liquids are going to go in first, and then your flour, and then your yeast and your salt are going to go in. And why they go in that order is because the liquids are going to make the flour and everything not stick to the bottom of the bread machine. And then the yeast is activated by the liquid ingredients. So since those are separated by a layer of flour, they won't come into contact until later in the process, which is what you want. And the yeast is what makes the cinnamon rolls actually rise. So I'm going to finish scooping my flour in here. And what I typically do when I make these is I make them the night before I want them. And that way I can just let them rise in the bread machine overnight, so I don't have to worry about timing them. And they come out perfectly every single time. Put that in there. Alright. Finish up adding the ingredients. I'm going to add my salt next, along with my sugar, and then my yeast, which is your magic ingredient. Sugar, and then yeast. And all you're going to do, and this is really difficult, so pay attention. You're going to close the lid, and you're going to press start. And then you're just going to let it run through. It may bang around and make a little bit of noise, but that's alright. It means it's working. I already have here some that I've already rolled out and put the filling on. You're going to roll your dough once it's come out and it's risen overnight. You're going to roll it out to about 26 by 16 inches in a rectangle shape that goes this way. And then what you're going to do is I've already filled it. You're going to make a filling ahead of time. And all it is it's a cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and a 1/3 cup of butter. And you can add in, some nutmeg or some orange zest or, whatever you want to make it taste like more. You're going to take your knife and you're going to cut each segment however big you want it. I usually cut about 1.5 inches because I like my cinnamon rolls pretty big. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see me cut it. And what you're going to do, you want a serrated blade to do this, because if you get a butter knife, it'll just squish it and it won't cut it properly. So I get that about 1.5 to 2 inches, and I'm going to just cut it easy, let the knife do the work for you. This is about the size you want, and that pretty little spiral in there. I've already greased my pan, so I'm just going to put these in here. Number 2. And you want to put them pretty close together, because they will puff up a little bit, and it also helps support the other cinnamon rolls if you do put them close together. If you like them more browns on all sides, I would put a little bit of a space between them. I like mine a little more doughy. That's one of the reasons why I put them together like this. But you can do whatever strikes your fancy. And to me, this is so much more fun than going to the mall and buying some cinnamon roll where you don't know how long ago it was cooked. You don't know if it's fresh, and you don't know who made it. And you can make them as big as you want to. Alright, I'm going to stop right there. You get the general idea. That's about how far I space mine apart. You're just going to fill it up and put all of them in there. I'm going to go over to my oven here. I have one that's already finished. Pull it out. Again, the oven is set at 400 degrees. And this is what's your finished product. is going to look like. It's going to be your cinnamon roll.